seem that some of the people living in the slums and living in the worst places in America would realize that maybe they should get out of those depressed and caustic areas in which they live and go to areas where there are jobs and where there are places where they can make some money. But I know one of the things that is impacting that is because if they stay put where they are, they're still going to get a check every month for doing nothing. They don't have to save any money for moving expenses or try to go out and find a job or anything else like that because they're getting paid just for sitting right where they're at. So, that's another issue we'll tackle for another day, but I just wanted to make you aware of that also. Also, so we see India is $71 billion is being sent back to India from people around the world. China ranks second, receiving $60.2 billion, and the Philippines, where more than 1 in 10 citizens is working overseas, will have received more than $26 billion by the end of this year. And they feel that figure is going to really jump this year because of that Typhoon Haiyan, which could spur more giving by Filipinos abroad, and I'm sure that will happen. The Filipino people are very gracious and loving, very family oriented, and I'm sure they will meet the needs of their families back in the Philippines. The United States is the largest remitting nation in the world, spending $123 billion abroad in 2012. Saudi Arabia, where 1.55 million Filipinos work and live, was the second largest source, with 27.6 billion remitted last year, and Canada number 3 with 23.9 billion sent by foreign workers to their home countries in 2012. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention to let you know of another thing that consequence of illegal immigration, and this is the big one: illegal employment of illegal aliens. So I didn't get to really follow up on the people that were going to lobby congressmen and senators that wanted to revise the immigration laws. And as we know from listening to the show, that those laws, the only way they can be overturned and changed is if it's a uniform law of immigration. That means everyone has to be under the same law. They all have to abide by the same law. The current way for people to come in is to apply for citizenship and then go through a legal process to get here. And they have to work through our consulates, and they have to show good cause for being here and how they'll be supported once they get here, so they're not a burden on society. With illegal immigrants, they're coming in, many of them getting on social service organizations, food stamps, and those types of things. I saw something recently that just shocked me. I was in a Stuff Mart in near the Nebraska border, and while I was in there, this lady was there with two younger girls, and they were paying for their food. So they had these huge cart of food, and they're putting all this stuff on there. Actually, they had like 2 carts, and they're putting all their stuff up on the counter, and of course it's taking forever. And of course Stuff Mart only has like 1 cashier because they're trying to make the most money they can. And well, we as we are human beings, we stand there and take it because we're going to save 50 cents. So while they're unloading all this stuff, they get done with 1 cart, and the girl pays with a food stamp card for the food that the girl got. And the woman that's sitting on the bench, the older woman, is calling out PIN numbers for these cards. So the first card looked to be a Nebraska card, food stamp card. So they pay for that, and now that card was short. It didn't have enough to pay for the whole order. So then they pull out an Iowa food stamp card and use that to pay for the remaining part of the groceries. And again, the older lady calling out the pins. And then there was a few cleaning items that they had, and they paid with those for cash at the very end. But my wife and I were standing there, and we just kind of looked at each other like, wow, did we just see that? Where, and I wonder how much this is going on. I assume that they're living close to a border, so they're applying in both states and getting assistance in both states. I know that the law and the requirements for getting food stamps and those types of things is very relaxed here recently, and they're just about giving them out to anybody who asks. I know they did do some curtailing of food stamps here just recently. In fact, I have talked to another woman on Spreaker who is involved in trying to keep food stamps coming as much as she can. But I really think that it's better to push people out of poverty, to make them go and be industrious, to work with their hands, to make money to get their food and their daily living expenses. If you allow people to just simply sit home, get paid, you're going to cause a huge problem. We've seen it in many different societies in the United States, and it's an absolute shame. So that's the end of my program for today. I know it's quite short. It's only 21 minutes. I have this super nice fancy microphone now, and audio software and mixer and just all sorts of stuff. So it's things for the show are really starting to come together. I plan to do this for the rest of my life or something like it. So just be aware of that. All my friends and family, you're never going to hear me shut up. All right. So I just want to let you know at the very end here, you can contact me at humanrightsandjusticeforall.com. I have a new website up. It is getting more and more kicking day to day. So I'd like to have you take a look at that. That's humanrightsandjusticeforall.com. You can also click on my email link. You can click on my Twitter feed. You can click on all sorts of contact ways to get a hold of me. You can also get a hold of me by humanrightsandjusticeforall@gmail.com. I wish I would have made it shorter, but I didn't. So maybe there will be a email address like hrjfa@gmail.com, Human Rights and Justice for All, and we can do something like that. So remember, my friends, the power of life is in the life and death is in the tongue. Choose life.